So yeah, but anyway, starting out here with you guys or the other person, you have judgment. So this person is definitely seeing this as something that won't die, okay? And the reason why I say that is because I think this person's recognizing that this situation is just going to keep coming back, or the situation that was thought was gone is not over, okay? Now I would think of this as happy cards, right? Happy cards, but you got the Six of Swords as your underlying energy and the King of Swords. Now the King of Swords don't like getting married, okay? I'm just gonna be straight up. I don't think he does. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't think he minds getting married, but this he don't have a problem with divorcing people either. This is why he's divorce kings, right? He's the person that's separate from their partner, but they're still together, right? Because there's a piece of him that truly loves him, that person, but he has to have his way or the highway. He can't compromise. He won't compromise. That's some of the things. And I think that with the Six of Swords is that there's a lot of moving on and leaving something behind and transitioning. That change that for the King of Swords may be a little bit difficult, if for any king, period, because it's not his way of doing stuff. This is not, his ideal path or his ideal, function. The King of Swords, he's more open-minded than the rest, but he won't accept perspectives. That's just a trick with the King of Swords for me. I don't ever see the King of Swords as open-minded, as in like he'll hear different ideas and totally consider them. He'll just be like, okay, if that's how you want to do your thing, that's cool, but that's not how I'm going to run my life. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of changes with that. I think there's a lot of change in perspectives, leaving behind the old, and I think it has to do with one's, how someone thinks, how someone communicates, how someone believes, mostly. The communication part is not really coming up in here for me, but it's more of the belief system and what they're standing on, what their truth is. That's changing. And that's a really big thing when it comes to king of swords, or king of anybody, because that's fixed energy, stiff energy, energy that's very controlling, and they do not take well to being, to changes, but they do it, if need be. So this person is transforming in a very significant way, very big way. And some of this could be that this person is really annoyed with the fact that this situation is coming back. All right. Some of this person maybe thought this was done, this was over, this is gone and done with, but then here we are, right? This person's like, okay, I'm still seeing the situation coming up. I don't understand why, but the reason why it's coming up has a lot to do with their emotions, which we'll get to later. Another person here is mindset, how they see the relationship is the Two of Wands. Yes, Two of Wands. They're seeing this as a decision to make. They see this as something that requires action from them. They have to figure out what they want to do, figure out how they want to approach this, because they know they ain't done with this. The situation is very on their part regarding taking control, to be honest. And the reason why is because you have the Nine of Pentacles, because this is a very chilled out area, in my opinion. This person's very aware of their capabilities, very aware of their independence, very aware of their their confidence. Like they're very much comfortable where they are, but that needs to change too, because the Six of Swords and the underlying energy, right, family? They're not going to be able to stay this comfortable anymore, and they know that. They know that they're going to need to make a decision, especially when they know that they're in a very good position to act right now. They know that. They're in a very good position to act right now. They're very stable. They're very confident in themselves. But it's about taking action and truly feeling that confidence that's what's kind of making them weary. And I feel this way because the Nine of Pentacles, it's a really wonderful card. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't see this as a reflection of feeling, though. I can see this person be like happy with the things that they have, but this is a very materialistic view of their confidence. They have to have things in order to that they've gotten on their own in order to feel like they mean something, and in order to feel like they've got something. And this person does feel like they can get what they want, but do they truly feel that courage? That's where the Lovers come in. But we're going to get to that in a second too. So this being there in itself, this person is very much single, very much alone. They know their capabilities. They know that they can get anyone that they want. They understand that, I guess the material aspect of life is definitely under their thumb. But that's the problem. They can only control what is physical to them. They can only control what's physically in their environment. So this change in this opportunity here, this is all like Wands and Pentacles don't mix to me, because Wands is as I always say in these videos, I always say Wands is the pentacle of action influenced by emotion. There's no emotion with Pentacles. So where are they getting this feeling from? Well, they have to decide whether or not their true feelings is there, and if their money can look the way they look, if that makes sense, if it matches that. Some of it is may not be money at all. It may be that they're showing what is their true success. How are they going to prove themselves to be worthy of the love? It's weird that I'm getting that, because typically with lovers, I see this as totally different. I know that they feel a strong connection, and that's why they always come back to this situation and they have like a little weird tussle. And that's why they have the Two of Swords here as what brings them, brings the two together. Because look at this, right? The person is caught between two truths, right? Both of them can't go together, so they have to figure out which one is going to rock the boat. It's gonna, end the whole balanced situation. Because honestly, they can't have this. Okay, I am worthy because of the money, or the house, or the finance, or the career, or the degree I have, and still have you, or still have the other person, and think, okay, because I feel this way. Like, they have to, the emotions and the physical portions don't mix. What truly has, they have to figure out what really has value, what they got under their belt, or how they truly feel. And that's why they have this decision to make, because this is all about, ultimately about losing their control over the physical because of what they feel, because they know that they can't control both. They can't. They can. Actually, that's the thing. That's what the lovers is the illusion of. There's a choice, but in actuality, you just have to work on that. But the decision to have that is like, you don't realize that those two swords can work together. I don't know if you know, but there's a martial arts. There's a martial art that actually includes two swords. You know, so I know the Two of Swords is read by readers typically like, okay, this has to be one or the other. This person's having a hard time making a decision because one is a difficult decision. It's about two truths. Well, this person isn't considering perhaps a third option. Right? There's so many options out here, and this person is not considering it, not seeing it. They're not seeing what's in front of them to make the decision that they really need to make, which probably has to pertain to something one or the other, or neither. Right? All in all, what I'm saying is that this person here on the side here has to make a passionate decision, but where they are is about where they physically feel safe, where they feel comfortable, where the material reflects their value, which doesn't reflect their value at all, right? They have to find the value within them personally, and I think that's why the Lovers is coming up as the reason why all this is coming up, right? Because this is about their love. This is about how they feel. This is about this is about the connection, that profound connection that they have. No matter how many times they go back to looking at that Nine of Pentacles, they will not feel anything, because what they really want to do is something to do with how they feel, but this doesn't make it, right? And this doesn't have to be like money or career or a college degree. It can indicate here this is family, this is family customs. This could be, things that have been there for a lot of time. And I know this person has definitely, worked hard for this sort of situation, which would be kind of weird as to think, why would this come up as something like traditions and things like that? And typically people like, readers don't read it this way, and I don't even typically read it this way. But what I'm getting from this right here is that this is some stuff that they've definitely grown an identity around, practices, belief systems, or traditions that have been around for a long time. Because pentacles are what? Long-lasting things. They're tangible things. This is something that someone built an identity from. This is the card. The card, the basic meaning for this is about somebody that basically built a meaning from a value or characteristic from the things that they have, or the things that they've known. Things that borders and boundaries that they've surrounded themselves based off of the things that they've experienced. But it doesn't reflect who they are truly. Their emotions do, their reactions do, their actions do, which is why this person's so slow to make a decision. It's why there's a lot of decisions that aren't being seen. Now the reason here's what gets really weird about this whole thing, right? Because, of course, the obstacle that you face has to do with taking action. Obviously, the King of Wands is all about taking action, going with how he feels. This person is not impulsive at all, in the slightest. This is why this person is still trying to make a decision. But they're feeling that energy. They're feeling this decision-making here a lot heavier, a lot more than they realize. I think they probably do realize it, but I think it's like that's the cage that they put themselves in, makes it harder for them to break free, because they have to be courageous to break out of that. So whatever they've got, responsibilities, things like that, whatever they've got surrounding them right now, the thing that makes them feel secure, makes them feel safe, makes them, makes them feel like, that has some sort of liquid or fake confidence around them, that is something they need to break out of to truly see their real confidence, their real strength, their real power, their real bravery, because this is not really what's going to make them feel that way. And they know it. Some of them know it, some of them, which is what I feel like they do know it because it's the Six of Swords. Now, the other person, on the other hand, is with Justice, or this could be you, Aquarius. They have taken, you guys have taken, accountability for your actions. You guys understand what needs to be done. You understand what has happened. I feel like you guys are still in the forgiving process. If you haven't forgiven the person already, you're just done with it. And I feel like the reason why Justice is coming up as like the done card for me is because this is a talk about making amends, forgiveness, making, balancing the scales. And I feel like you guys either have been doing it, are doing it, or, done doing it. But there's a piece of you guys that is not balanced still, and hasn't forgiven them, or hasn't completely, allowed the other side to balance it out. And it's because of things being in your comfort zone, what you feel, right? There's some sort of deep hidden emotion that's still there. It's hard to break, and I feel like it's hard for you guys to, to accept that portion of yourselves, because you want to control your future, you want to control where you go, and it's understandable, right? You have free will, you have your life, you want to control where you go, who you feel, what you feel about this other person, yada yada yada. But the thing is with Justice is that this is talking about being donezo, right? Being over with. But this card won't necessarily completely leave until you move on to the next card. The fact that it's coming up as your present energy means that there's some sort of still imbalance here, and it has to do with vulnerability. It has to do with your emotions, how you feel, who you love, what you love the most, right? And it's hard to do that. It's hard to, to address these emotions, especially if there has been things that you've been really struggling to overcome and to heal from in the first place, to forgive, to let go of. Now, if this person did you wrong, or you did this other person wrong, it's hard to release this other person. There's some unfinished business, karmic energy here. Like, you see Justice. Justice is another card for karma, right? Like, it's a card for karma. Just like the devil can be the card for karma, But the thing is that with judgment and justice, there's some unfinished business here. And as much as you've already overcome a lot of your own personal stuff, there's something immediately here that needs to be addressed, which has to do with how you feel. And what you're keeping in, so you can maintain control. What you've been you've been putting your emotions on ice. You've been doing a lot of other stuff that's been logical, that's been very structured. But the thing that hasn't been really addressed right now is what you've been feeling, right? What do you feel? I'm gonna pull an extra card for the King of Cups too. A lot of y'all are like, no, I'm gonna do it. Some of y'all are like, hell yeah, I need to understand. And crosswatchers be like, hell yeah, pull another card for Aquarius, because we need to understand too. But why is the King of Cups the spirit card for their side of the reading? Temperance, harmony, balance, moderation in all things, divine timing. I think a lot of you guys, this is crazy. And this is what I'm kind of getting from this, actually. The Ace of Pentacles, after shuffling a little bit more. Here's what I'm getting. I think you guys have forgiven this person. I think you guys have, definitely made amends with yourself, made peace within yourselves regarding this person, in which you guys are ready to move forward. But the thing is, that piece of you that is still in love with this person is still waiting. And the reason why you're like, with the mental, is the Judgment card. That's a difficult energy when something comes up again, something happens, or something that you thought was done and gone. You gotta kind of make a decision, or take action on it, because this is coming up. And I think the thing is like, it's out of your control, which is why Temperance is in here, and let go of control issues. There's a lot of you. There's a piece of you that really wants to control this. It's hard for you to even, I think for a lot of you guys, it's hard for you to even see. Some of you guys don't even see an opportunity here. But I feel like the thing is that's very similar between the both of you is that you have to claim your love and to just marry each other. It's really weird. Now, when I say marry, I don't mean like go up to your ex and ask them to get married. Like, there's something here that's tied you both together that makes it very hard to move on. That makes it hard for you. Cause the King of Cups, when he's in love with someone, he's in love, like he's deeply in love. The King and Queen of Cups, when they come up, they could be apart. They could be 2 million miles away, and I know those miles don't exist, right? But they don't matter where they are. That love will never change. And I feel like that's the same thing. This love is divine. When I see the Temperance come up, Temperance is an angel, I know, but what I'm getting from this is like there is some sort of patience with this. Some of this Temperance is divine timing and everything like that too. And what I'm getting from this is like you got some strong cards, all of this major arcana here. And as much as you've mastered your emotions, I feel like there's a piece of you that is still very much in love with this person. That bringing this up again, having a lot of these reminders, having a lot of these synchronicities, because I know y'all probably getting some with all these major arcanas coming up like this. Like you guys got major arcana, major arcana, major arcana, three of them, and one of them not even on your side, but still. And you got kings coming up. That's a really strong energy anyway. Divine timings, you must be seeing sevens all over the place, but the thing is like it's so strange here because with the King of Cups in your foundation, to me is like there's something that's locked down tight, and you wouldn't think that the King of Cups would be like a stiff kind of card. It'd be fluid, right? Emotions would be fluid. I mean, they can still get a little thick sometimes. It could be a little hard to get through. And the King of Cups, when he feels something, when he wants something, he wants it. When there's a feeling that he wants to feel, he will feel it on a dime. And I feel like there is a piece of you guys that's still committed to this person, even though you don't got no cards in here that really indicate commitment. But it's just like there's a resistance to this because you guys just don't want to. You don't want to. You're done. You're ready for this to just be set free. You're ready to move on. You're ready to move forward. And I feel like there's a piece of you guys that may even still be healing right now. I think a lot of you guys, honestly, in this process, are still healing, still trying to move forward, and still trying to, build something for yourselves individually. You maintain yourself, you handle your own business, but that is also carrying over, and it's giving this kind of warmish kind of energy to this individual, a very Cancerian sort of energy. And I know the King of Cups is Scorpionic, and you got two cards that indicate Scorpio energy, which is why I'm sensing a big, intense feeling from this side, like from y'all, even though y'all fixed signs anyway. It's like really crazy. And it's like, of course you can't see it because I feel like if you knew that forgiving this person would bring them back, I think you probably wouldn't, would you? Some of you guys would be like, hell no. Some of you guys would be open to it. But I think you guys instinctually know that something's coming. Or something's already kind of working its way back. And the thing that's kind of making this really hard is that, instinctually you would, but emotionally you may be still in pain. Now, what's interesting is that obviously what's brought you guys together is the Two of Swords, this indecision, this inability to make a decision because you got two truths that don't work together. You have to make one decision in regards to the sword, but you guys don't honestly see the situation clearly enough or clearly at all to be able to make that just decision. And I feel like for a lot of you guys here, I don't think it's about not making a decision. I think it's more about seeing the other person on the other side before you can truly hold judgment, before you can truly let this person go. I feel like this other person has to come into your life in order for you to release this completely, to truly heal. And in order for you to do it, you have to see the other side first. Because no matter how much you guys have tried to piece it together, review it, go back over it, figure out what happened, review it, go back over and figure out what happened, you're never going to truly know. And you can't know until you see the other side. Which is why this person on the other side here has to act, the King of Wands. Now this person may have to act, or maybe there's a piece of you that just has to, I don't know. The King of Wands is a really interesting card for y'all because it looks like you guys have done everything. The reason why you're doing X, Y, and Z is because you're patiently healing yourself. Like you're using patience, you're handling your own business, you're doing your thing. but there's just something that keeps recycling and keeps coming back around, 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 and it's like not letting you go. And the King of Wands, as with, you know, the obstacles that you both face, is the King of Wands, which is someone of action. So if your advice here for the relationship is let go of control issues, but then you have the obstacle as the King of Wands, I think there's a piece of you guys that have to just allow yourselves to feel, and it's pretty much identical with the other person. There's a piece of you guys that there's a piece of this person here that's not allowing their emotional self to take action because of whatever physical, material, or traditional means is around them, responsibility wise, whatever. They have to just purge and break free from the chains that they've got themselves wrapped around. And there's no chains. I know there's no devil card here. But they're in the gilded cage. Deep knowing. Wow. It's like something, you guys know something. There's something that y'all know. And you don't know it though. That's the hard part. It's like there's a piece of you that knows. Because your intuition knows, because the Temperance card is obviously is divine energy. But you have the King of Cups, which is highly intuitive, and then you have Judgment. So I feel like a lot of you guys know something intuitively, and you guys are trying your best to be patient and allowing yourself to catch up with it. But there's something, like, I think you guys know that they'll ever return, but your heart knows it's going to be something different than the return that you are thinking it's going to be. I think some of you guys may not see that this return may be different than you guys envision it, the way different than you guys can picture it, different than you guys may expect it. Because the King of Wands, I kind of see him as very unpredictable. And the reason why is because however he feels, he will do. It's very similar to the Knight of Wands, right? Knight of Wands is very unpredictable, but with him, he can be very unpredictable when he wants to be as well. King of Swords as well. King of Swords can be very unpredictable. Because he can be very open and clear with you, but he has his own mindset, his own way of thinking, his own way of doing stuff. And I feel like the unpredictable may come. But you know what that is, but you don't know what it is. Like, intuitively, you could feel it. And it's going with your heart, going with how you feel, taking action based off of those feelings. Both parties. But I feel like it's hard, right? It's harder because on your side, because it's like, what do you do with what you know already? And I think letting go of control issues is just like understanding, engaging what to do as you go through it, because this person has to do something. This person's got the Nine of Pentacles. They're not doing much of anything anyway. But the change is here. Changes is coming. It's just like, what part of it?